because it was not easy. Those first inklings that I'd been hoodwinked were very, very emotional for me. Very difficult. Next question. Oh, still attending the LDS Church. I had a couple of reasons for wanting to continue to attend that I thought were sound reasons. The first reason was this was quality family time. To sit there on the church bench, sing songs with my family, put my arm around my wife, have my son right there, good quality time. The other thing was I thought it would be good for the other members to see that somebody who didn't quite agree with their opinions was still, a nice guy. I wasn't out on the streets doing drugs, and I wasn't, whatever the kind of things they conjure up in their minds that people who depart the faith do, and they conjure up quite a few things. If you've followed the dialogue that's followed this article, it's up to 277 pages this morning, and some of the comments I've gotten back, just even the last few pages, really reveal the depth of the mind control and fanaticism that's prevalent in the church. I've been called a murderer in my heart for taking this action, that I must be hooked on drugs, I must be doing something illegal, that I will eventually be an alcoholic. All these things are thrown out there, and I think the key here is that the fanaticism, the mind control is so deep that they cannot allow themselves to believe that there is a viable existence outside the organization. Okay? It's not possible. It's just not unthinkable that anybody could, with reason and intelligence, could possibly leave the organization without having some kind of hidden agenda about drugs, pornography, something. So that's very telling in the scheme of things. Okay, so what? In actuality, though, so that was one good thing. Okay, those are the two reasons I want to continue to attend church. Well, and I did attend the Sunday that my newspaper article hit the front page. I did attend that day. I had been officially excommunicated from the church at that point, but I wanted to go to church to see if they would actually make the announcement as promised. And President Molina happened to come to my meeting, and I sat there with him in the same room, and of course the announcement did not take place. And so I cornered him afterwards, and this is a subsequent article to this one in the paper. I talked to Lon Griffiths at the Tribune and said, described the conversation I had with President Molina, and he kind of just hemmed and hawed and said, well, I hadn't really made up my mind if I was going to make the announcements, even though his letter stated that he promised he would. And I think really what happened is that the regional representative had seen the newspaper article, had realized the negative publicity this was going to get if he did go forward, and the possible legal recourse that I would have if he made those announcements. It's not unprecedented to have people file lawsuits for defamation of character on this count. In fact, I had dinner with one of them, Mr. Hancock, very nice gentleman, and his wife Muriel, very nice people. So I think the regional representative asked him to not make the announcements. So that's the only time I attended church. In my meeting with my dinner, went out with Mr. Hancock and his wife. They said they went through the same mental process in trying to decide if they should attend church. And in the end, they decided they couldn't. And the key point is the reason why he said we decided we couldn't do it is because regardless of what you say more with your actions than anything else. And the moment you set foot inside the LDS Church, you condone what's going on there in the eyes of your children, in the eyes of the members, in the eyes of your friends. And they will think, even though they may not be anywhere close to the truth, they will think that you are crawling back on your hands and knees and seeking forgiveness and wanting to re-enter the fold. And for that reason, they recommended against not attending. And the more I thought about what they said, the more I had to agree that what they were saying was right on target. And so I've decided that I will never go into an LDS church again other than for a funeral or a wedding. Yes?
Is your wife still a Mormon?
Yes, my wife and my son are both still all in. They got out of church 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay, I was just curious.
Yes, they're very much all in. But to my wife's credit, she can separate the person from the opinion.
Okay.
And she still loves me. She wants to spend the rest of her life with me. She is not quite as fanatical as some, and so I'm blessed. And to show again the level of fanaticism and that's prevalent, people have asked not if she's going to divorce me, but when. The question was not if, it was when. And she said, that has not crossed my mind. That is not part of the equation here. Our relationship goes way deeper than a belief in a particular religion. So all that is good. See, I'm very fortunate that way. And my relationship with my son and my wife are just fine. Yes? Yep. No. Say your question again. Just within the congregation are asking, well, when are you going to divorce this guy? So yeah, that wouldn't be grounds for excommunication at all. Okay, you have another question.
Could you guys ask your questions in the microphone?
Oh.
That we get it on the tape.
Hi.
Hi.
What I'd like to ask is, what do you believe now?
Okay, I'm getting to that. In fact, that's the next question. Do you have this sheet back there? First, ask what is the view of Jesus and in Mormon doctrine. Of course, Jesus is really the centerpiece of Mormonism, and I know it's not portrayed that way, or people don't think that way, but it really is. And that Joseph Smith actually restored the same gospel that Jesus had here with apostles and prophets, and just like in the old days when Jesus was here. So Jesus is very central to the LDS faith, and people tell you otherwise don't really know. Okay, that's really the case. So, of course, there are lots of kooky doctrines that go with that have been restored. Or the LDS people had thought had been restored by other prophets since that time. So, now what do I believe now? Is what your question is. Of course, I don't believe Mormonism has any merit at all. That's the main thing. And I'm once bitten, twice shy. Okay, I'm going to be researching whatever I decide to do with extreme thoroughness before I make any decision. Currently, I'm thinking that spiritualism, and the ironic thing here is that now that I've been able to let go of all those weird doctrines like, skin color is related to righteousness, and the polygamy and polyandry things, and all these weirdness things that were so hard for me to try and justify in my own mind. Now that I've been able to throw those away, all of a sudden things have become simple, and spirituality and love for living things becomes so much more. There's so many more possibilities available to me, and to embrace, and I can throw off and say, well, maybe the judgmental God of the Old Testament, I don't have to explain everything anymore of what he did. Maybe I can just say, well, Jesus Christ just fulfilled all that and brushed it aside, and now he's got a new law, and I can just start from that point. There are all kinds of possibilities now. The world is my playground all of a sudden. I think spirituality transcends organized religion to the most part.